Hello, hello, hello. I am live. Welcome to my podcast on my channel. This is the 5 minutes of fame. I am known in the credit restitution world as the queen of credit. So as you coming in, drop your city and state as our 5 minutes of fame timer has begun. Or just say hello, right? Just say hello. Proclaim. So glad to have you in from the scope on Periscope from Michigan. I've been getting a lot of people from Michigan in. So hello, hello, welcome in. Make sure that you all hit that thumbs up button. So hello from Michigan on the scope. We got Brandon Hicks from Raleigh, North Carolina. Always the first in and checking in. Let me know if you all can hear me well. As I adjust my microphone. Dallas, Texas is in the house. Hello, Dallas, Texas. Gwen Armstrong from Dallas, Texas. We got Facebook is in the house. The Harris Smith. Hello, Gwen. Hello, Queen. How are you? Hello, Harold, my beautiful friend. Do me a favor and share this broadcast on your Facebook, your personal page as well, right? On your personal page as well on Facebook. If you are tuning in on YouTube, do me a favor real quick, exit out of the live chat and hit the thumbs up and come back into the live chat room. If you're watching on Periscope, hit those hearts and share with your followers on Facebook. Like and share as well. Harold is from, is that NV? Mesquite? NV? Nevada, is that Nevada, Mesquite, Nevada? Okay, thank you, Gwen. She said, I sound good. We have DC in the house, the Mayfield sister from DC. Hello, Tracy. Hello, how are you? Thank you for tuning in to the podcast and our live stream. Patrick Dix, hello. Said, Ash, my beautiful spiritual sister, you are doing a wonderful job teaching. Thank you so much. I was a little fatigued tonight. I just left the gym and the sauna, and I have another Zoom meeting for my home-based business and upcoming, so I really didn't feel like it, but I want to push this, share this information, hopefully under 45 minutes. I always say that. Hello, Jesus out of California. Yes, that's my washer unit. Let me know the time is expired for the washer, so you hear that in the background. How's things going in California? I've been hearing about the wildfires. Hope you're safe. Hope everything is going well for you in your area, in your community. As we have 2 minutes in counting for the 5 minutes of fame. Again, make sure as you're coming in, you hit the thumbs up. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, I always share some digital love and let everyone know that I am live. Give them a notification. Also hit the subscription button, right? If you're on YouTube, subscribe to my channel. If not, after this live stream, Periscope and Facebook, make sure you subscribe. I am the queen of credit on YouTube. So getting into the topic, we're going to talk about the second stimulus, the smaller package proposal recently by the Republicans, and we're going to talk about J.P. Morgan, and also in this second stimulus, how it involves USPS, United States Postal Service, and what that could mean for the dollar, right? Will the digital system go through the USPS? So we're going to look at that. Zeus says it's too hot. Can't wait for the cold. Okay. Too darn hot. We got Easy coming in as we have 40 seconds and counting on 5 minutes of fame. Sonia, Georgia. Hello, Easy. My regulars are coming in. Brandon says hit the like button as soon as that. Thank you so much for hitting that like button. Really appreciate that. And 20 seconds and county, right? And then I will get into the topic of discussion. So let me pull my articles up. As we give people some countdown so I can go into the topic without much interruption. And that's my time. That's my time. So glad you all made it into the 5 minutes of fame. Again, I'm the queen of credit. Let's get right into the topic of discussion. So hello, everyone coming in, or hello to you all if you're watching the replay, right? Whether you're watching this live or in the replay, if you're coming in later on the live stream, good evening. Hello to you all as well. So we got some people that's coming in. The South is in the house. We got Curtis, the South in the house. Hello, Curtis and Veronica and B Don, right? I'm glad to have you all in. So let's get right into the stimulus package. And as I share my screen with you, wrong screen. Okay, that's the right screen that I want to share. Put my glasses on. I think I'm sharing the right screen. Nope, sharing the wrong screen. 1 second. Share screen. Hello, Flo. Hello, Flo coming in. Okay, now I have the right screen that I want. As I position this was the best article breakdown that I wanted to share. It's from CNET Personal Finance. Will the COVID stimulus package, right, become several skinny bills instead? Very interesting. Will the COVID stimulus package become several skinny bills as well? This is newly released today, right off the press. Today's day is August 20th, right? Thursday, August 20th, 2020. So it reads as follows. Congress come back in session sooner, but Congress could come back in session sooner, but the main Rona stimulus package won't be at the top of its priority list. Wow, it's interesting. Here's what's going on and why passing a relief bill may still be in the cards. In effort to break the deadlock on stalled talks over the next economic stimulus package, a group of Senate Republicans and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi are offering different approaches to get the deal done instead of letting talks drag out longer. Pelosi said she'd be willing to spend on some of the funding now, right? So she will be willing to spend on some of the funding now and address the rest in the next year. It's interesting. Some Republicans plan to introduce a skinny stimulus package that could include $10 billion aimed at addressing the U.S. Post Office budget crisis. Now, I'm going to explain in detail why this is a big deal. What's going on with the post office right now, right? So you're going to have to listen. You're going to have to be a little bit advanced to really catch it. But just hold on tight. I'm going to attempt to share this in your live stream so it can help you knowing what money moves to make moving forward, right? And this includes 300, right? Cut from the $600, 300 in weekly unemployment benefits that may be similar to an executive action, right? Signed by President Donald Trump. I don't think we'll pass in the Senate a postal only bill. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said Tuesday, the ability, now just stay with me, the ability of the USPS to run effectively. So this bill just pay close attention to what is focusing on, right? To run effectively during the upcoming presidential election, and concerns over its ability to handle a large surge of mail-in ballots have shifted the debate over America's new stimulus relief bill in a new direction. Pelosi said Sunday she will cut the House of Representatives break short. Currently, they're on break, right? But she's stated that they will cut their break short with a vote on standalone legislation expected Saturday that would stop changes seen to be damaging the U.S. Postal Service, right? It doesn't appear that either USPS bill would include a second stimulus check. So it doesn't appear, or there are no talks at this time. Now, I'm not saying that the second stimulus won't happen, but it doesn't appear the U.S. will include a second stimulus check. But it's clear that whenever the stimulus relief negotiations resume, both parties will want to include a more help for struggling Americans. Here are 5 reasons why, according to this article, we still think a stimulus bill of some sort will happen. Now, I do think a stimulus bill will happen. Both sides want to resume style negotiation. However, this stimulus does not include it currently at this time. In the name calling and finger pointing this morning have revealed anything is both Democrats and Republicans recognize the need for another emergency relief package to help the U.S. cope with the Rona testing. This was interesting to me. Reopening schools, a looming eviction crisis, and upcoming elections amongst any other things. Despite signing for the executive actions earlier this month, the president tweeted for a bill August 14th while bashing the Democrats with school reopenings on his agenda. So this is a screenshot of that tweet. We can't wait until September 30th, said Nancy Pelosi on August the 13th about the second stimulus bill, right? And so this is what the Republicans have submitted so far. Trump's executive actions did not cover our area. The president's recent directives, 1 executive order and 3 memorandas cover a $400 maximum unemployment benefit, examine eviction protections, deferral of student loan payments, and payroll cuts. Trump's executive actions skip over areas that have been considered a bipartisan stimulus package, including testing, tracing, and treatment of COVID-19, support schools reopening and provide PPE, personal protective equipment, food assistance, aid for local and state governments, protection from liability and corona lawsuits. That's interesting. Money to keep post office open for elections, right? Now, some people were going back and forth with me on my Facebook concerning this executive order because they felt that when it was signed by President Trump, that was it. It was written in stone, right? But this can take weeks before it could go into effect, right? Because we know that it could be protested, but we think that the House and Congress are going to come together to at least try to get something that can go out to the economy in October. So Trump's suggested 400, or his executive order suggested 400 maximum unemployment benefits, which federal funds will only cover 300, and states are expected to chip in the remaining 100. Governors of cash-strapped states struggling with the pandemic are already pushing back. Earlier in August, for example, New York governor called the benefits order laughable. California governor, that's Jesus and those running in for California, estimated that The matching proposed unemployment benefits will cost California around 700 million per week. That's per week, which will require deep program cuts. White House, and we're looking at states like New York or California that's very expensive to live in, right? White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow said federal help will only take, now listen to this, will only take about 2 weeks, but labor experts have said Americans could be waiting upward of a month before seeing a check. Wow. In addition, the new program will only be available to people who can certify that they're unemployed or partially unemployed due to disruptions. So it have to be due to disruptions caused by COVID-19. And only if they already qualify for at least 100 a week in unemployment benefits, right? So this policy would exclude about 1 million people. 1 million people will exclude, right? About 1 million people. Hello, Brandon. Hello, one of my credit clients. How are you? Easy says Republicans block Democrats first, and second, offer a stimulus. Republican agenda is to make it harder for people. No, it's not. I promise you it's not. I'm going to break it down to you why this mail-in ballot stuff with UPS is just a smokescreen for this new digital transformation. I promise you. You all gonna have to put on your thinking caps tonight, right? You have to be big girls and big boys, and you're going to have to have an open mind to this, because if you don't have any previous knowledge of what's going on, it might be hard for you to grasp, right? So you're going to have an open mind. Because, for example, here in Mississippi, if we can have college football, right, then why do you think it's a big deal for people to have mail-in ballots during this health pandemic? So just stay with me, because when I share this JP Morgan news with you all, hopefully it'll reveal the bigger picture for you. So let me finish reading this. So even the unemployment would exclude about 1 million people, right? The methods by which Trump wants to fund his order could cause more delays. Now listen at this. The method by which he wants to fund his order could cause more delays. The president is unilaterally seeking to use leftover or unspent FEMA funds ahead of what experts say will be an active hurricane season to pay for unemployment benefits. Wow. In addition, if Trump orders are challenged in court, legal action could further delay referral aid or relief aid to Americans, because Constitution gives Congress, and that's what I was trying to tell people. There are some people, social media people, who are announcing, oh, this is going to happen maybe around September 1st. His executive order will take place. No, it can be delayed, right? Because Constitution gives Congress control over federal spending. The president may not have legal authority to issue binding executive orders about how money should be spent during the pandemic or a pandemic. On top of the wait time to get federal unemployment benefits, the funding could also run out, right? About a month and a half, according to Labor Department officials. So even those unemployment benefits, people, is looking to be as long as the first initial unemployment benefits was given. So the executive orders may be a dead end. So the jobless claim totaled to 963,000 2 weeks ago. I think today it hit like 1 million again, right? 1 million again. And so How soon will you may get that second stimulus check? Let's look at that. How fast could the IRS? All of this is tying in together, right? All of this is tying in together. Let me make sure. I'm sorry. If the final relief bill passes, your second stimulus check, this is another article dated today, August 20th, Thursday, August 20th. A second stimulus check could arrive more quickly than it did the first round. We worked out some potential dates for when this could happen based on what we know today. The Democrats led House of Representatives will return to Washington on Saturday to, again, listen to what these stimulus is mainly focusing on. USPS rescue bill, United States Postal Service. And I'm in the Postal Service every day, right? Almost every day. The Republican plan, again, is a skinnier stimulus package. But what does that mean for the second stimulus negotiation that will finalize a second stimulus? How soon could a check arrive through direct deposit or mail for eligible Americans? Both political parties have agreed that another coronavirus relief package should include a second stimulus for Americans, right? Tens of millions who are facing unemployment, food insecurity, evictions, car repossessions as the recession caused by this pandemic wears on. But with the talks of another stimulus package stalling out before the House and Senate went on recess August 7th, calls for both sides to strike a deal that's growing more urgent. Steve McConnell, Senate Majority Leader, said we need another bill. And I'm hoping that this will end as soon as we get together and move forward to some kind of mutual agreement, right? And so we do know the Republicans want about 500 billion from the trillion that was, recommended. And so how soon could the IRS deliver a second stimulus check? If it's negotiated by September the 8th, and the House passes, if the Senate passes by September the 8th, and the House passes September the 9th, and the President signs September the 10th, it could be the week of September 21st, right? As early as the 21st. So it's like a 2-week time span. However, if it's a 14th September, the Senate passes on September 14th, the House passes September 15th, President signs the next day on the 16th. Another 12-day window. First checks could be sent out September 28th. So again, you can track your stimulus check on the IRS tool payment and sign up for a direct deposit. So let me show you all how this is tying in to the United States Postal Service, right? Let me find this article. I don't think you all probably are aware, but the United States Postal Service used to be a banking institution as well, right? A banking institution as well. So let me pull up this article. Up until 1961? I'm looking for that article. See, can I Google it? And so give you a little history. Post office banking. Okay, 1967. 1967. History may not repeat itself, but it often rhymes, right? And I read this post today about the art of war. And one of the things that this post stated about the art of war is that strength never fights strength, right? Strength never fights strength. And what I'm trying to inform you all is money never fights money. Stop thinking that the Republicans and Democrats are fighting each other. It's not a fight. It's entertainment for news and media, but it's not a fight, right? So should the post office also be a bank? Um, Let me see. 1967. Will the post office get to the point where it's digitalizing? This is not the article I'm looking for. Hold up. Okay, here it is. Postal banking. Have you forgotten, or maybe you did not know, known as the Postal Saving System, right? It was known as the Postal Saving System, began operation in 1911 and officially ended in 1967. Through the post office, though the post office stopped accepting deposits a year earlier, initially savings earned 2.5% interest with 0.5% designated for operation of system, according to postal histories. Although bankers first viewed the postal savings system as competition, history says, they later were convinced that the postal saving system brought a considerable amount of money out of hiding from mattresses, right, and cookie jars. Most of the money was redeposited into local banks. The postal saving systems did not include lending, however. So it began in 1911 and 1967, right? So that's why the Postal Service is going to play a big role, a very big role in the digitalize of the currency. And just think about it, or the digitalizing of the dollar. And just think about it because everyone, right, a lot of Americans, a lot of traffic goes through the U.S. Postal Service. And that's why the stimulus is so heavily focused on funding and equipping the U.S. Postal Service, because many are predicting that the dollar will be digitalized as early as January of 2021. So again, you all may not know this, a little known fact, the U.S. Postal Service was a banking system and institution from 1911 to 1967, right? Now, this is the article that's a big factor in that, a big factor in that. JP Morgan Chase held talks with U.S. Postal Service. Listen at this. This article was released August 19, 2020, about installing ATM in post office. See, all of this is tied together. Don't come here talking about they're fighting, this is about mail-in ballots. No, it's not. Everything is strategically done, right? Months and years ahead. They were even talking about this in 2014, as early as 6 years ago. JP Morgan Chase, the biggest U.S. bank by assets. I've been telling you all that in 2011, JP Morgan Chase hoarded 350 million ounces of silver, right? 38% of the world population. And they are the biggest U.S. banks that hold assets. So they have talked with U.S. Postal Service about ATMs and post office branches. We had a very preliminary conversation with U.S. Postal Service several months ago about what it might look like to lease a small number of spaces for ATMs to better serve some historically underserved community. This is a way for them to get and to know mostly what our expenditures are, right? And to get a more digitalized dollar system in. Postmaster General, and that's why all of this funding is being pumped in, right? Louis DeJoy will testify later this week about the overhaul of the government agency. So the news comes amid sudden scrutiny of the USPS, which manages more than 31,000 post office locations. You can go to the ruralest places, ruralest, counties, and they will all have postal services. So it's a great way to connect this wealth transfer, right? Lawmakers have cited concerns about cost-cutting moves. However, the discussion with J.P. Morgan may also spark fears about the independent agency is headed for privatization. The bank could be in line for exclusive rights to solicit postal services. Meanwhile, and listen to this language, a task force, right, created by former Vice President Joe Biden, called for more exploration of government banking service via the USPS, so they can get the low and middle class Americans to offer accounts. This model, according to this article, already exists outside the US. And when you don't know this knowledge, you think it's about absentee ballot votes. No, it's bigger than this. It's way bigger than this. So you might be asking me, well, Queen, okay, who cares if we start banking outside, or start banking through the U.S. postal system to reach low income and middle class Americans everywhere? Okay, ATMs, that's a big deal for cryptocurrency. As early as January 2021. A very big deal for cryptocurrency, which means you need to know how this wealth movement is occurring so you can be a part of the wealth transfer. I've been informing you all there's going to be two options. And within the next 6 months, you're either going to be a part of the prosperity movement or a part of the poverty movement. So if you want to be entertained, you want to say, money never fights money, and the art of war says strength never fights strength. Meaning that if you want to win against your opponent in the art of war, you don't fight that opponent at their strong points. Republicans and Democrats will never fight against one another, right? Joe Biden is a millionaire as well. Ever. 85% of wealth in the stock market is owned by 10% of the rich and wealthy. Wealth will never fight wealth. Money will never fight money. Republicans and Democrats, great entertainment purposes. So if you're not using credit, if you don't have the income to invest in this wealth transfer in real assets, you think the sushi is going to save you. As Mr. T would say, in my humble voice, I pity the fool. I really pity the fool. I pity the fool who's talking about, Republicans, Black, and Democrats, blah, blah, blah. Even Dave Ramsey, whose net worth is worth $50 million, $55 million. I always confess, the rich always get richer and wealthier in recession, right? Zeus is laughing. I think he's laughing at Martin. We're talking about today wealth transfer and understanding what real assets are, and understanding how the U.S. Postal Service is going to tie into the big digital dollar and crypto movement, and why the stimulus is talking more about, right, pumping how much money into the, let me pull the article up again. Second stimulus. Let me show you exactly how much they're pumping into United States Postal Services to be a part of the digitalized system. Let me share this with you and see if this article. Second stimulus check. Millions of Americans are eagerly waiting for Congress to draft approval of the fifth stimulus. Um, Second round of payments as Republican and Democrat try to reach an agreement. The United States Postal Service crisis. And then ask yourself, United States Postal Service has been opening operations as one of the essential business since this pandemic. Why all of a sudden are they in a budget crunch crisis? Right? I did a video on yesterday stating that now how delays in mailing will require or will force delays in credit, right? So I told you all that beginning in July, I began to go live in January, and telling you all that beginning in July, credit will be less available. And then came the changes. I talked about the FICO 10. And then came the changes and of FHA loan, mortgage loans, credit scores rose to a 680, 700 qualifications in some cases for FHA, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac approved mortgages, how credit will be crunched and be tighter and it will be harder to get. Concern over USPS deliveries delay, Democrats have established that they won't restart negotiations until Republicans increase their offers from $1 trillion towards the stimulus package. They are now concerned, however, that efforts to reform the USPS Postal Service will delay delivery of second round of stimulus check. This is all setting up for the digital currency, right? So, pump more money. JP Morgan, the biggest banks, is now. Why do you think a bank would be interested and partner up with the U.S. Postal Service? And so I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm not trying to change your mind. If you think that they are fighting and this is not strategically planned, then great, continue to have that concept. But if you, right, if you do not have real assets, want to tell you, in this mode, I'm going to share this with you. Just point blank. I'm going to share this with you. This mean with you, and you just ponder on that thing. Because even biblically, the Bible says a fool and his money will soon depart. And a fool is just a person who takes whatever the media say for his word and has lack of knowledge. Whatever the media reports, right? just have lack of knowledge. So if you don't, right, thank you, spiritual man 30, just lack of knowledge. And so I take out my time to share this information with you, to give you financial education, so that if you have any additional income to invest, you can know what revenues to invest in. Again, let me read this. I'm not a fool. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with me easy, but I sure hope you have some financial education and you can understand where this wealth transfer is going. Don't put money in cryptocurrency. You don't have to. Don't put money in a home-based business. You don't have to. Don't put money in silver and gold when the dollar collapsed. You don't have to. I just told you the U.S. Postal Service was a banking known as more of a postal savings institution from 1911 to 1927 in collaboration with the banks. And now I'm telling you again that JP Morgan is partnership with them, the biggest bank asset holder in the United States. Those are facts. You can be in your feelings if you want to, but emotions will have you broke. I don't care. Vote for millionaire Joe Biden. I told people, if you all are sleeping on the Simpsons, you shouldn't sleep on the Simpsons. The Simpsons predict crypto. They've always predicted some things. And guess what else they predicted? Let me share this with you as I read some comments. Damien told his workers if they buy and sell digital assets, they were going to get 5 or 2. Right, and now he has the digital coin. It's the CEO of JP Morgan. Maiden Champ, you're right. Eventually, everything will be a 700 credit score. For any approval, you're absolutely correct. That's why I tell people to aim to get a 720 or above credit score right now. This woman is like a modern day Harriet Tubman trying to lead people to freedom. I'm trying to. It doesn't matter to me. I'm like Harriet Tubman. You know what, man? Thank you so much for that comment. But you know what made Harriet Tubman so successful in freeing people to freedom? To freedom. I'm trying to free people to financial freedom, and I'm walking the path with you. I listened to this audio today on YouTube, and it said, "You will never obtain riches by traveling the road to poverty." Let me say that again. You will never obtain riches by traveling a road to poverty. If you always have a scarcity mindset, if you're afraid to use the bank's money, credit, right, at the cheapest it's ever been to attain financial prosperity, if you don't want to get your credit score up to the point where you can purchase, so you can position yourself to purchase assets, you have every right. And you can sit back, you can watch television, right? You can complain. You can watch Sinners versus Saint. That's what Easy like to watch. But he wants to give me some advice, And you can watch rich people on television and then complain about their wealth. Because when you're watching the Republicans or Democrats, they're very rich and wealthy. I mean, just look at Nancy Pelosi and her class and her just a millionaire, right? Spiritual man says, but thank you so much for that wonderful comment. The least tell you everything they're going to do is up to you. Yeah, it's up to you because they speak in code. When I just shared that article with you with JP Morgan, it says Joe Biden's, right, task force. You have to listen to the language, right? Yeah, you're right, Martin. Nothing is by accident. And then this is my thing. This is my thing. Now they want to provide more tests, right? For the public schools. So as Trump have been saying, the more people you test, the higher the numbers will get, right? Was that the entire agenda for open public schools initially? Tessa Hall says, where's the link so I can get my credit together? Or IG, I go to www.fix. This is my website, fixmycreditandcash.com. www.fixmycreditandcash.com. So a lot of people think it's ludicrous for me to say, yeah, there will be a first female president. Well, let me share this with you, right? And then I'm signing out because I have another Zoom I have to get on for my home-based business training.
1596, 1598, 1600. Sweet. Excellent question. Yes, I am proud to be America's first straight female president. Helen?
Wasn't I wearing a hat?
Yes, you were. Now, in conclusion, my administration will focus on the 3 R's: reading, writing, and refilling the ocean. Thank you very much. As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump.
Okay, let me replay that. That's why this woman has to come behind President Trump in the economic crash. All of the codes, and if you never watch cartoons, give you a lot of predictions. So don't say, well, it's a cartoon. No, a lot of cartoons give you a lot of predictions, not just The Simpsons.
As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump.
So this lady's gonna have to come behind a budget crunch after President Trump. Kamala Harris, well, you might be asking, well, she's just gonna be the vice president. Who knows? They get elected, Joe Biden, 6 months into office, they say his dementia doesn't qualify him. Who will have to take over? A woman. Who is his vice president-elect?
How bad is it, Secretary Van Houten?
We're broke.
The country is broke? How can that be?
Well, remember when the last administration decided to invest in our nation's children? Big mistake.
The Balanced Breakfast program just created a generation of ultra-strong super criminals.
And midnight basketball taught them to function without sleep.
What about my pledge to build the world's largest bookmobile? Isn't there any money left for that?
No, and we borrowed from every country in the world.
Quick, Lisa, call up your phone.
Why? Ow!
And they borrowed from every country in the world. Yeah, it is deep, right? Yep. I agree, emotions will leave you broke, especially when you are making emotional decisions with your money. The economy is unpredictable. Hold on to your cash. And that's why I was informing people not to pay off unsecured debts right now, right? Because you're going to need your cash. You're going to need all of it. And then, but the purpose of cash in the digitalized system is that you can know how to exchange it, right? Exchange it and convert it into crypto. So the dollar won't be just completely dumb. You know, any fiat currency has a 50-year time span before it collapsed, according to history anyway. So it was in 1971 that the dollar, right, became dead, because that's when Richard Nixon took it off the gold standard. So you add 50 years to 1971, and what year does that equal up to? 50 plus 1971 equals up to what? You all give me the answer. We have a credit class, whether you're watching live on a replay. Thank you, spiritual man. 2021. And let me see if I can find this. And then again, I told you I love talking and teaching, but I have to get on my training. This is another one by the Simpsons. If I can find it. This is actually uploaded on my channel, right? 2021, right?
Oh, China, is there nothing that can't be made in you?
Okay, first board starts off by saying China. Is there nothing that can be made in you? You know, China is also already working on their cryptocurrency.
Oh, China, is there nothing that can't be made in you? Ah, my first sucker.
Oh, $1. It's a trick. It's a trick. It's a trick.
Okay, you gotta catch it. Try it. He looks at the US dollar and says, hey, this is a trick. It's gonna trick a lot of more people too.
I never needed these. I never needed these.
He said, I never needed these.
I never needed these.
Hello? Oh, looky here. It's the old fishing line on a dollar bill prank. Dollar bill prank. Dollar bill prank. Man, even a backwoods, no account, inbred, lead paint eating, kerosene huffing, roadkill chomping. What was my point? My point?
Just passed right by the dollar. Didn't even want that.
That is a practical joke, Luann.
This isn't right. No one's falling for my pranks.
He says it's practical joke.
At least it wasn't a total waste. I found a quarter.
And do you all see where most of the signs are? Because I'm in and out of Mississippi, right? Most of the signs that say we have a coin shortage and it's in the U.S. Postal Service offices. They're the main ones. I've seen it a couple of fast food places, Wendy's, Taco, but every U.S. Postal Office location that I've been in have this coin shortage sign, right? And watch this. We continue on.
I want a Borata.
So, can't have access to coins, and no one wants the dollar in the Simpsons prediction said it's a fake. Coins were stuck, concreted in. Coin shortage, can't get access to those either, right? So I'm signing off. Just want you to know what's going on. And if you want to, I'm saying to stack cash, but to also be ready to exchange in the wealth transfer. So you need to get more education. Number one, on this home-based business I'm affiliated with. Number two, on increasing your credit. Why the home-based business? Because the dollar is losing its purchasing power anyway. More stimulus comes out, the more it's going to increase inflation, which will rise the prices, and your taxes. So the dollar is losing its purchasing power This year alone, I think about 35%. Real assets for this new movement of digitalizing cryptocurrency, silver, gold, but you need the home-based business to legally pay less in taxes, because taxes will increase astronomically going into 2021 as well, and you need passive income opportunity, right? So this is just my message to you. You all have a great night. It's already written in stones who's going to be presidency, I think. And if I'm wrong, hey, I'm still gonna be here live streaming, right? But we'll see. If I'm wrong, then all of my faith in the Simpsons and what they predicted is wrong as well, right? Again, maybe it's not true. It's just a cartoon. But just remember, they also have predictions about what cryptocurrency will be used to combine the U.S. Postal Service and its JP Morgan. And this one cryptocurrency, if you would have invested in 2015, just $1,000, in 2016, it hit its all-time high, and I'm not speaking of Bitcoin, would have returned on your investment up to $600,000. $600,000 on $1,000 investment. And this one predicted cryptocurrency is going to be the common crypto, right? That will be the heart of this digital transfers expecting for January 2021. Hey, I'm the queen of credit and cash flow. Again, my website is www.fixmycreditandcash.com. If you want credit help so you can have access to this cheap debt to get real assets. Assets is anything that take or make you money without having to physically work. Liability is anything that take your money, right? Credit is anything that brings you more money, right? Debt is anything that takes your money. It's the difference between credit and debt, assets and liability. My question to you, do you have credit? Because if you don't have the income, credit can make you richer if you know what assets or what moves to make. Again, it's a queen of credit. This is chess, not checkers, right? Here's to your health and your wealth, your peace and prosperity, and your credit and your cash flow. You all have a great night.